Celebrate a year of things that you've accomplished through your people. As we look to the horizon, we keep our eyes forward on what it is that you want to do. We ask that you fill this place, Lord, in your name. Amen. All right, y'all can have a seat. Now, as you can see, and as you've heard me talk about at length now, is Vision Sunday, which means we get to do a couple of things. Now, I'll tell you this. The denomination that we're a part of, the way our church is structured, we are required once a year to do what's called an annual meeting. Now, the way that we typically conduct that looks much more like a meeting. However, this year we wanted to change things up a little bit and have a little bit more fun. Now, I'm not saying that, business meetings can't be fun. There are accountants in the room who love the numbers and going over. Yeah, Angel's the only one that wooed on that one, but pray for her. No, so the thing is, we have stuff that we want to celebrate. We also have business that we're going to talk about. So there's going to be a couple of things in here. They're going to move relatively quickly. There are a couple of business items that we have to take care of that we're going to really handle up on the front end more than anything. But for the moment, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a breakdown of what to expect. I see you, Braxton. You're a good-looking guy. Look at you, man. What a handsome man. Danny, don't let it go to his head, please. Too late. Yeah, right. Okay, you're going to see a couple of things on your table, all right? Now, first of all, there's a printed copy, one printed copy per table of the booklet that you were emailed, and then very shortly, there will be a QR code up on the screen. The easiest thing to do, the absolute easiest thing, is to scan this QR code that you'll see in multiple places. You will get a digital copy of that you can follow along with. You're also going to see these Vision Sunday response cards that Miss Angela made for us. They look fantastic. Basically, as you're hearing things today, you're going to hear things that we're celebrating from the different ministries, things that we have done this last year that we're excited about. You're also going to hear them talk about plans for the future, a couple of things. Hey, this is the direction that we're moving. These are things that we want to do, things that we want to attempt, things that we want to try and accomplish. They're also going to let you know how you can potentially get involved with doing that. So there are questions on here that I want you to take a look at. If you see something that listen, this is not a bait and switch. This is not if you express any kind of interest, we're going to come for you. Well, I shouldn't say that. Josh will definitely come for you because there's always help needed on Sunday nights, right, Josh? Yeah. No, but listen, you're serving, hospitality, kids ministry, prayer ministry, whatever. If you hear something that encourages you, check a box and let us know. The questions that you see written here. Where might God be calling your family to engage more deeply? This is a resource you might want. What gifts, skills, passions would you love to use to help FCC grow, thrive? You can write that down. Maybe you hear something, you're like, man, I want to get involved. Is there a ministry opportunity or idea you'd like to learn more about? It can be something that doesn't even exist yet, but something that you hear or something that you're thinking about that God has put on your heart that you want to attend to. Jesus is calling. He said, go Irish. So, and then there's a place on there, prayer requests, additional thoughts. Now, here's what you can do at any point. If you hear anything that you want to respond to or engage with, fill out this thing. Also, you will see blank 3x5 cards on your table. These are for suggestions, ideas. They can be critiques. They can be whatever you want. You don't have to leave your name on them. Anything that you fill out today, all you have to do is fold in half and either leave on the tabletop or drop in the offering box by the back door. But what I want to make sure that I want to make sure more than anything that your voice is heard, that you have an opportunity to say, yes, I really like that we do this, or Pastor, why don't we do that? How come we seem to be missing this? Or I'd really love to participate in this other thing. I've already heard a couple of really good ideas this morning. People saying, I want to get more involved with whatever. So now's the opportunity that you'll have the opening, the time to do that. So what I'm going to do in very quick fashion here, there's a couple of boxes that I have to check. Again, these are procedurally required for our meeting. So I've got a couple of board members who are going to help me sort of move this thing along, and then we're going to get right to business. The first thing I need is Per your booklets, there is an agenda in there. I need a motion from any of our members. Actually, no, I need to go through the roster of membership first. I'm sorry, before we can even accept the agenda. Apologies. Got that mixed up. All right, I'm going to read your name. If you are here, all you got to say is here or present or Pastor, I'm too good looking for you to miss. I'm sitting right here. Paul Brandywine. Paul Brandywine. Hey, there he is. Okay. Gene Brown. Gene, I'm looking right at you. I know you're here. I just need you to say here or present or hi. June. There you are. So did I say Gene? Did not. Rick Brown. Nick Burris. Angela Burris. Jared Collins, that's me. Sarah Collins. Kelly Eel. Rachel Enger. Thank you. Perfect. Shannon Glauski. How do I say it, Shannon? Glowcheski. Not in a million years am I guessing that. She's here. Josh Gwynn. Gail Heilig. Charlie Holscher. Ruth Holscher. Angel Kuhn. Bob and Sheila are on vacation, I believe. Lisa McCarthy. She is downstairs. She is here. Yes, correct. Carter Montgomery. Kelsey Montgomery. All right. Carrie Stonebarger. Doug Stonebarger. Shelby Stonebarger. Chris Michelle or not. TJ Ward. He stepped out, right? TJ and Nikki Ward. Thank you so much. Sorry. All right. New members too. I want to celebrate Alex and Haley Francis. Where are you? Wave your hands real quick, guys. Yeah. Joe, Ryan, and Jessica, where are you? Excellent. Very good. New members. All right. We've established who's here. Those are boxes I had to check. Now, what I need from any member who is present is a motion to accept the agenda that is in your book. Thank you. Yeah, this is going to be a quick meeting. I love it. All right. And I need a second. Charlie second. Do I have – that was Charlie seconding. Or, hold on, Alec. You're almost there. You're so close, bro. No, sorry. Too late to the party, pal. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of accepting the agenda, say aye. The opposed? Rocked. All right, that's it. The ayes have it. All right. Now, the other thing that is in your booklet that must be accepted is the minutes from last year's business meeting, which is the 2025 minutes. They are in the booklet. All I need is a motion to accept those. All right. Do I have a second? Second, that was Rachel Enger. Second, okay, I had a motion from Nikki. Second from Rachel Enger. Any discussion? All in favor of accepting those 2025 minutes? Any opposed? Keep it to yourself. Okay, perfect. The ayes have it. All right, that's what I needed. Now, we get to the fun stuff. Where is my clicker? All right. Now, first and foremost, I would like to ask our local Board of Administration members, our LBA members, would you do me a favor? Would you please stand to your feet if you are present? Kelly Eel, Doug Stonebarger, Charlie Holscher, Nikki Ward. Bob is not present. Bob is on vacation, and myself. So we all fill different roles. Where's Nikki? Nikki is our treasurer / bookkeeper for the church. Kelly is our secretary. Doug is my MIA vice chair sometimes. Conciliary is what I like to say. Charlie, you are our trustee. These are your existing board members. And what I would like to also say is this. So Bob is not present. This is the end of Bob's term, as is Kelly's. Guys, thank you. Give them a hand, please. It's not. Thank you very much. You guys can be seated, please. You guys can be seated, please. Thank you so much. All right, so here's the thing. Serving on the board, it's one of those things that, like, you have an active opportunity to weigh in to help shape the future of the church and the direction that things get to go. Now, the other side of that, you give up the second Monday of every month as a meeting for a couple of hours, but you get ridiculously mentally stimulating conversation, and we get to talk, Angel, about numbers and business stuff and just all kinds of cool things, right? Woo! Yeah, that sounds fun, I know, right? Okay, so having said that, what we have to do now are elect 2 new LBA positions. And as luck would have it, I have 2 candidates who are available. So here's the way this works. I reached out to a number of folks and said, hey, I've got 2 open spots on the board that are opening up. Would you be interested? Some were not. Some said, yeah, absolutely. Where we ended up with was Alex. Would you do me a favor and stand up real quick? Alex, please. And Joe Ryan, where are you? Go ahead and stand up. And for the last couple of months, they've actually been attending board. You guys go ahead and sit down. Thank you. Sorry. Like that kid get called on in class that you're like, no, I don't want to say nothing. So they've waited in the last couple of months. They had the opportunity to sit, to participate. Can't vote on anything, but just to participate, contribute to the conversation, to be a part of things. They have determined that serving on the board is something that they want to do. Both of them are a great fit. But there is also the opportunity, if somebody here would like to be nominated, you can nominate yourself, you can nominate another person. We call this a nomination from the floor, if anybody is interested. Otherwise, we will, by voice consent, elect these 2 gentlemen who've agreed to serve in these roles. Now, this is the last thing we have to vote on, and then we're going to get to the fun stuff, which is the vision casting and hearing from ministry leaders. So, by way of nomination, is there anybody who would like to nominate or be nominated from the floor to serve on the board, in which case we will hold a ballot election? Going once, going twice. Okay, here we go. I make a motion as the chairman of the board to present to you these 2 candidates, Alex Francis and Joe Ryan Anderson, for election to 2 available board spots that have been made vacant because Kelly's at the end of her, Kelly Eel, end of her term, and Bob Mannis is at the end of his. By voice consent, because there's only 2 nominees for 2 positions, by voice consent we can vote without a ballot. All in favor of electing these 2 gentlemen to serve in the 2 available roles, I simply need an aye. Any opposed? This would be an interesting one. There you go. The ayes have it. Gentlemen, welcome to the local Board of Administration. We're excited to have you. Thank you. All right. That is a 6-year contract signed in blood, and we're getting, no, I'm just kidding. Stop it. It will not. Okay. Are we ready to get to the good stuff? Now is the opportunity. We're going to hear from our different ministry leaders who are going to talk about the things that we are celebrating that we have done this last year, to talk about a couple of their plans for the upcoming year, and ultimately to provide opportunities to say, hey, listen, if it's something you want to get involved with, great. Up first, on behalf of Wesleyan Kitty College, I'd like to ask Sarah Collins to come up front. Oh, the microphone. Let me get the microphone. Yep, that's my fault. Do you want the mic stand or just the mic?
My name is Sarah Collins, and I'm the director over at Wesleyan Kitty College. In your packets, there's just kind of a synopsis of what we've done this last year and things that we've been working on and that I am super proud of that we've accomplished over the year. But I did want to share 3 major points with you. An area that I am very proud and I think we've been working really hard on is connecting our families, is offering opportunities for our families to come together, whether it's Muffins with Moms or Grandparents' Day or different just events that they can come to, father-daughter dance. We've done a lot throughout the year to connect families, and I am really proud of that. We're also working really hard in choosing the right people for the right places at the right times, whether that's a teacher moving to a different department, going through a very rigorous process in what families we allow to come to Wesleyan Kitty College. Danny, who has become the assistant director over at Wesleyan Kitty College, and she's been amazing, my right-hand man over there. We've been working really hard in our vetting process of what families we allow to come in our doors. And that might sound kind of mean, but you get some really crazy situations, and it puts our teachers in unsafe situations, it puts us in tough situations, And so we've been working really hard in having a streamlined process that vets families coming through our doors that have the right intentions and are going to partner with us in raising their kiddos and helping mold them while they're at Wesleyan Kitty College. We have also worked really hard over this last year to save money. It's been awesome. We've been working really, really hard to, we will talk about later, our budget and stuff. We've been working really, really hard to cut costs that are unnecessary, to just be realistic about what we need. And I'm just super proud of the hard work that we've accomplished in that area, and just proud of just the hard work. Moving forward this next year, one of my main goals is to really, really have a firm foundation for our teachers. Whether it's the teaching, the families that come in know that what we are teaching is biblical, not that we haven't been before, but that we are getting very, very fine-tuned in what we are teaching our kiddos and having a firm foundation in the way that we're communicating, the way that we are being examples. And I am just really excited for what God is doing next door and the way that he is cultivating the atmosphere, the way that we are becoming closer and closer as a family over there, and just the opportunities to show Jesus to the families that walk through our doors. So I'm really excited about the firm foundation that we are going to be just laying for this next year, coming up for the school year, and just seeing what God will do with that. Also, if you are wanting to ask, I'm sure you all are, as I've been talking, you've been asking yourselves, what can I do to help? I know you've been asking yourself that. Kitty College is a great place to volunteer. You can come and volunteer. I want to give a big shout out to Shannon. She is an excellent volunteer. Yes. She has graciously given her time on Fridays to come and rock babies. She rocks and feeds and smiles and talks to those little babies back in the nursery, and it's been wonderful. It has been a huge blessing to the nursery staff. We also have Lisa downstairs, who is a amazing volunteer. She will pretty much do anything that we ask her to. Yes, applaud for her. Yes. She is amazing. She will help clean, make balloon arches. She will help in Rachel's classroom. She is amazing. And so we have volunteer opportunities. You just have to pass a background check, which hopefully you can, and have a willing heart. But maybe you don't want to volunteer, but you would like to help in other ways. All of our teachers, all of the departments, even our kitchen department, have wish lists of things that they could use for their classroom or the kitchen or areas. And so if you want to help in any way, we have our wish list posted on the website. They're also overall in the building. I believe they might even be on the church website. But a way that you can love on our teachers and love on our staff is just going on Amazon and buying them something, or, bringing them coffee. That's always a great help. So anyway, I'm super honored and excited for all that God is doing next door. Thank you. And if you have any questions or want to volunteer, let me know. Okay, thanks.
All right. Okay, so couple years, hey guys, my mic is off. Turn it on, please. Couple years back, we opted to form the advisory leadership team, which is comprised of members from the church, parents, and staff from Kitty College. The reason we set that up is to make sure that the best interests of everybody involved are properly represented. So on behalf of the church, on behalf of the staff, on behalf of the parents over at Kitty College, the advisory leadership team was formed. They meet on a regular basis. I'd like to ask Angel to come on up and give us just some high points and talk to us about what ALT is doing and get people excited to serve on the ALT maybe. Here you go.
All right, so like Pastor Jarob said, we are a liaison board, and so we have staff, we have parents, and then we also have members of the church. So I think, so if anyone's interested in joining us, quarterly now, so not a huge commitment, but we're there to provide guidance on policies and procedures. If there's any questions about things that are happening, just needs that they have, we're there to pray for them and help them out. So if you'd like to join us in that, that would be great. And then another thing that we try to do is provide support to the staff. And so we do that by prayer, goodies. We try and participate in like Teacher Appreciation Week and things like that. So that is kind of the highlights.
All right.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet, yeah,
you
you
took
got
some
it.
of my thunder. I had to see all the stuff you kind of covered already.
That's perfect. Yeah, ALT is really, really important. So gives you an opportunity to kind of see what's happening over there and a chance to support teachers. All right. This is one of my favorite pictures of Josh. I'm not even going to explain it. There you go. Josh, come on up. Tell us about what Reach is doing and what we're celebrating.
I'm so nervous to be up here. All right, so, hi, I'm Josh. I'm the youth pastor, and that's a weird photo of myself. I don't even remember that day. It was crazy. That was the one in the suit. That was Christmas party, and like they held me down and dressed me up like that. It was really weird. Shh. All right. So our vision at Reach is to basically reach teens where they're at and help them live their life on purpose for Christ. And so how we want to do that is we want to reach them and their families and just show them what God is doing, right? And to give them opportunities to learn and to grow and just to be a part of something big. Give them purpose, right? And not only that, but spell it out to them what God has for them in this season of their life. And so we love to invest into them, and we want to get into more of a routine, more of a habit of doing that with their families as well. And it's challenging because all of our teens, we have a ton of teens over there, but they're kind of like from all over the community, and their families go to different churches and everything. And so we're going to work really hard in the rest of 26 and 27 to try to get in, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but we're trying to connect all the dots and trying to grow that. So what we are celebrating is last year at this time, summertime, we had 10 baptisms. So that is amazing. 10 teenagers got baptized last year. Yeah, for sure. And we have an amazing team, adult leadership team that just continues to grow. God keeps sending us the right people at the right times, and I know He's going to continue to do that. So that kind of like that picks up like with you guys as well. If you are interested in any way, shape, or form to be a part of the youth ministry, that would be amazing. You can fill out the little form here. But at the same time, so the way the youth ministry is ran is, you guys know, I have a full-time job and just got a lot of hats that I wear. And so it is hard for one person to just do everything. So the plan is to continue to build this leadership team. That way we can just spread it out amongst all of us, and we can have the same effect that like a huge youth ministry could have on their community amongst everyone who's involved. And so that is the overall plan that has been happening. And I just want to thank all the adults that have stepped in and helped out and have been dedicated and loving on these kids. So that's for sure. Thank you guys so much for that. We have a strong high school Bible study that we normally do at 4 p.m. and that's on Sunday nights. And what we do is our adult leaders rotate. So there's teaching opportunities for our adult leaders as well, but they rotate in that Bible study and they teach, and it just keeps rotating, and it's been really good. The teenagers are growing from it. This year we have a lot of excited teens that's going to camp. We have, I think, a total of 18 to 20 students going this year, and then we've got quite a few leaders as well. And so a total of 25 people altogether is going to camp this year, which has been the highest number yet. And I've been here this is my 3rd year of going to camp. So that's a celebration for real. And then our Thursday night girls Bible study, they usually meet at Moolicious, and it's an amazing place to meet. There's ice cream there. And so the thing is that this last Thursday, there was 13 girls that showed up to that, which has been the highest number so far, which is really good. And they're all loving the study and what they get out of it. And it's really cool to see that grow. All right, so our ministry goals, we are focusing on developing a youth ministry structure that is more effective in reaching teens in our community now and from years from now, okay? And we're getting more involved family-wide. Like I said in the beginning that, hey, we want to be able to reach families who are here at the Kitty College. We want to reach them in our community. We want to reach them at other churches. Whatever that looks like, that's what we want to do. We want to jump out there. And so we have a lot of, like I said, we have a lot of students that are over there. They're not necessarily connected over here, but they do go to other churches as well. And we kind of want to, not that that's a wrong, not that that's a bad thing or wrong, but what we want to do is we want to cycle it where we can get as many kids in the church as possible, and as long with the youth ministry and everything, and their families as well. So currently we're kind of working on our safety, our campus safety. Like I want to start doing parking lot greeting, and that's another point of interaction with parents who are dropping kids off and everything. Is like, hey, how's it going? You have that, because a lot of them will just pull up, drop their kid off, and leave. They don't, it's like, I'm confused. Like, you don't want to know anything about us or what we're doing, and so it's got me scratching my head a little bit, but at the same time, that will give us that opportunity. Plus, it's a safety thing. People invest in all that, and they carry guns, and I'm just kidding. But, yeah, it turned really fast. So we are continuing to develop student leaders. That does the thing that we strive to do. And we want to get into more community outreach, and just the door's wide open for that. We have a community that just needs stuff, right? Bunch of people who have needs, and we just need to be there for them. And so basically what this looks like, this is the last thing I want to say, is we want to bridge all the gaps, right? And I was thinking about that. I was like, bridge the gaps. There's one right over here, crossing 70. There's a huge gap right there. And so we're hoping that can be bridged very soon. But at the same time, that's physical. And same metaphorically, I want to bridge the gaps between the Kitty College and us. So basically the community, okay, the families, and the churches. That's the three things we want to bridge as a student ministry. And we want to bridge the families. We want to be able to connect with all families in all areas. And we want to do that with the Kitty College. We want to do that in our community. We want to do that to the church, to the other churches, all of that. So that is our goal. We want to go as deep as we can into our community and change lives, and just be faithful to what God's doing in the student ministry. And we would love for any one of you who want to be a part of it, be a part of it. Thank you, guys.
Why don't you come on up? Tell us what's going on downstairs.
Hi, I'm Nikki, for anybody who doesn't know. I am the Children's Ministry Director. So we have had an awesome year. We had some new things this year, and so I'm just going to do a couple highlights. A big thing that we did this year is we started Kids Club, which is a Thursday night, 4 to 6. We take some outside kiddos from other schools, I should say, not outside, but and then we have all of K4 and elementary at the Kitty College. And so we do that over here in the sanctuary. We do worship, a lesson, a craft, and then we do a snack, and that has been awesome. We've had roughly 25 kiddos in that each Thursday. I'll get to that later, but our Christmas play was a huge success this year, something I'm super proud of, that we also had the elementary kids from next door participate in. So that was really awesome. We've opened an additional classroom downstairs. So we now have like our 2 to pre-kindergarten in their own separate space down there, and then the elementary, and then the nursery. So that's been awesome to see the growth and that we needed to do that. I also just want to say that our volunteers that we have down there have been awesome. We've grown. We have like 10 adults and about 3 teens that volunteer down there consistently. So that's just been awesome, and they've been great, and I appreciate them so much. We also had some special events like our snow cone socials, and we've been doing Fifth Sunday movie every 5th Sunday, and the kids really, really seem to enjoy that, so they watch a movie and have popcorn and hang out. This upcoming year, we are going to relaunch Kids Club. It's currently off for the summer, and then when school starts again, we will relaunch that. We are hoping to try to get some of the outside schools in as well. So some of our kids that come from the outside schools are kids that come here on Sundays, and so we're kind of hoping to maybe get a couple more kiddos from the elementary schools out here. And we are going to be doing some more just family gatherings and socials outside of Sunday morning. So we are going to be getting some on the calendar soon. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We've had a great time down there. We are rocking and rolling. We always are looking for volunteers, though. We have a good handful now, but it's always nice to have some backup. So if anybody is interested in any parts of it, Sunday mornings, Kids Club, any of that, we would love to have you, and you can reach out. Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you. Nick Burris, get your handsome behind up here. Wow, he wooed himself. Look at that. Angela, you were really quiet on that. Wow, okay.
Yeah, it is. Man, I am so excited. I love my team. So this last year, we have really accomplished a lot. A lot of the stuff is kind of behind the scenes and background stuff, so you might not have noticed. We added like pads to our worship set, so it's kind of just like a low tone kind of thing that goes on. Big thing I want to celebrate is we've had several of our team members step up to lead songs. I don't know about you guys, but leading songs in front of a bunch of people can be, kind of scary. Angela has done that. Ruth, who's in the back, she's led songs. Joe Ryan, Douglas in the back, he's led some songs even though he doesn't like to. These guys are incredible. I love this team. It's just amazing what we can accomplish when we come together. This past year we've gotten together. We've had hangouts at our house. We'll kind of go over new worship songs that we want to do. We're going to continue to do that in the future. We've made improvements to our sound system. So I don't know if you noticed we had some technical difficulties, but we set it up so basically like I can control it remotely. Anybody else that's not listening, we can do that remotely. And so that's wonderful. I never do that to Pastor while he's preaching though. In the future, this next year, we've got a lot of other projects we're going to be doing. Our sound booth, which is upstairs, we're actually going to be moving that downstairs. That kind of gives us better control of the audio. So like when there are things going wrong, the guy running the soundboard can physically hear it. It's a totally different sound upstairs. So if that's something you guys like building or construction or want to get involved with, come let me know. I could definitely use the hand. It's going to be a very big project. There's like 800 wires I got to move. So that's going to be a big thing. We're going to continue pushing with our worship sets, you know, trying to develop more new songs. This last year, we produced one new worship song. We're planning at least 2 more this year. With that, we're also planning on at least 2 more worship nights. I don't know if you guys all made it, but we had an amazing turnout for the worship night we had back in February. I'm going to say February. It was awesome. We're planning at least 2 more of those this year. And I think, see, I had all this wrote down because I am terrible when it comes to these kind of things. Another thing we're going to keep doing is modernizing, working on the sound system, making it more modernized, bring kind of things up to date with that kind of stuff. We've had a lot of help with the media side of stuff. So my team is pretty huge. We've got everyone on stage, but we got everyone else in the background that runs media and the soundboard. So if you guys are interested, let's say you're a novice guitarist or a bass player, or you know, you've kind of got a vocal where you can sing. So come talk with me. We would love to have you join our team. If you're interested in media and how things kind of go out, or help control with the lighting or soundboard, just come talk to me. I'm sorry, Sarah, Pastor Jared said no already, so sorry about that.
Bring me into it.
So if you are interested in serving, I would say check a box on here, but there's not one for the worship team. I don't know who created these things, but just check other, come talk with me. I would love to talk with you guys. We would love your help, and I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. You know, I want to point to that for a second, because Nick and I had a conversation a few months back, and I said, man, we got to do some more upbeat stuff. We need some more stuff. And he just was like, yeah, okay, cool, and jumped right in and worship what you see today. This might be the best iteration we've seen in a long time. It's been phenomenal. So great work, and you're a new leader too. You've stepped into worship, leading a team and developing a team. And what he didn't mention is producing one of those new songs was actually one of his songs that he wrote, that he kind of slipped in. So when we get to that last slide and it shows like the CCLI credits, look for the one that's like Nick's email address. He's not going to be the one to tell you who it is, but it's been great. So, Angela Burris, why don't you come on up here? Yeah. And baby Franklin, right? So that's really who we're, yeah. Right.
So, hello. In the last year, I've just been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes cleanup with the office and digital clutter, and also trying to kind of bridge the gap, circling back to that, between congregation and leadership, and getting our announcements and things like that out in a timely manner. In the next year, I want to clean up the website, make it a little bit more user-friendly, and try to increase engagement within the church as well as outside of the church. And so whether that be increasing marketing for seasonal events or just going out and talk to people. If you like being more behind the scenes, we could definitely use the help creating digital or physical informational items, flyers, brochures, things like that. Organizing or planning minor details of events. If you like to be more out front, all of the events and stuff that we're planning, the word needs to be spread. If you can talk to somebody in the middle of Walmart that you don't know, we could use your help spreading information, because I'm not doing that. But I'll make the papers for you guys to pass out. Short and sweet, that's all I got.
Very good. All right, now, the last one we're going to share, and Charlie, do you want me to just bring it over there to you, or do you want to come up here? All right, I'm going to bring Mr. Charlie Holscher, who is our trustee. Trustees are really, really important role. I don't know personally why anybody would want to be a trustee. It seems like a very complicated, very involved job. The pay is really good, obviously, but he's the highest paid, non-paid volunteer we have. All right, go for it, man.
major thing was getting new signage done in the 3 main buildings we got painted this year. And we're in the process of trying to figure out vehicles because we didn't have a bus driver. We needed one of them for the little bus after all, and it became a headache. But besides that, I'm looking for anybody that can step in and help from time to time because I work a full-time job and I don't have all the time to make phone calls and all that. That's about it.
Thank you, Charlie. When Charlie promises short and sweet, he's not kidding. It's funny, the last thing I said was, being a trustee is no fun, and Charlie says, hey, I'm looking for some help. You know, I've been really excited this year because our ministry team several months ago went and took a kind of a vision casting day, a retreat of sorts, off-site. We went somewhere. And we talked about where we are. We talked about where we could be. And I've been so excited to see the development of the different ministries. One of the things that you learn as you kind of move into a leadership role is you can make leadership about what you do and how you are potentially the one that, well, they can't do anything without me and I hold everything together. That's sort of a linchpin approach. And oftentimes people who lead who think, if I'm not there, everything falls apart. That's how important I am. That's one thought. That's one school of thought for leadership. The problem is, what happens when that person is gone? What happens when that linchpin is pulled? Everything could fall apart. The other way to approach leadership is, how can I make every single person on my team shine? Now, every leader that you've heard from this morning talked about what great teams they have and how excited they are to be working with the people around them. And I want to tell you that that does not happen incidentally. That is cultivated. That is intentional. It does not come without an extreme amount of effort. Does everybody, amen, if you're with me so far? So what I want to say is that my greatest joy this last year has been seeing the worship ministry develop, seeing kids ministry develop, seeing golden toilets on people's lawns as a fundraiser. It is the most ridiculous thing, and yet he is creating his own budget every single year. I love watching. I don't know if you caught it next door at Kitty College. It's not open enrollment to the community for whoever wants to show up and bring their kids here. It's, we will interview your family, and in the next couple of days, we'll get back to you and let you know if we think you're a good fit for us. The philosophy around here is not, let's just throw anything against the wall and see what sticks. The question is, what is God's best for our future? What is it that God wants for here? What is it that God sees? What is it the vision that God has put on the horizon for us to chase, for us to embrace? We have been in this season the last couple of years of starting over, of rebooting and thinking brand new. Some people struggled with the idea of how do we get back to what we know and what used to be? And I have to show you by way of example. I shared with someone this morning, every time I do this in here, I watch people come to the back doors and I get one of two responses. People go, oh, and they come in and they sit down. Or most people, they walk in and they go, it's tables. I'm going to have to sit next to people. I'm going to have to talk to folks. There's a mean, scary cop over there. He might arrest me, Doug. People get shaken up. But what we have to remember is that we are pursuing God's best. Some people can walk up to an empty lot and they see dirt. They see an empty patch of ground. Some people will walk up to an empty building and they might see broken windows. They might see litter. They might see layers of dirt and neglect and what used to be. But there's other people who look at that spot and wonder what could be. They see with their mind's eye. They see the opportunity to build. They see the potential for what is coming. I've never been somebody who can look at blueprints and walk a space and say, oh, this is going to look amazing. Anybody? Okay, so I have found that there's two different kinds of people in that regard. Now, how many of you, for instance, when you were looking for houses, one spouse could look at the blueprint and say, oh, look, I know there's nothing built here, but here's where the kitchen's going to be, and here's where we'll put the couch, and here's the table, and here's where the TV's going to be. And oh, how many of you are like that? How many of you can see that in your mind's eye? Okay. How many of you are like me and you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about right now. I don't see it unless I see it. Does that make sense? I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot look at blueprints and see, oh, this is going to look amazing. I see lines on a piece of paper and call me in 6 months when you've got a spec house to show me. Oftentimes, God gives us blueprints for where it is He wants us to go. He refuses, for whatever reason that God decides, to give us all the answers up front. Here's where I want you to go. Here's what I want you to do. And I'm going to make a bullet point list of all the mile markers along the way. And as long as you focus on those, you'll be just fine. Does that sound like familiar to anybody? How many of us would really like it if God would put the writing on the wall literally and show us exactly? Yeah, Ruth, I'm with you there. God, send me an email. I promise I'll read it. Nail the list to my door. But instead, Scripture challenges us to keep our eyes forward. In 2 Corinthians chapter 4, Paul he writes the first part of the chapter is all about our weak bodies and these vessels of clay that we're put in and the struggles and the trials, but the hope that we have in Christ. And then this is what he says in verses 16 through 18. He says, therefore, we do not lose heart, because he's talking about the gospel. He says, though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. Renewal is a spiritual perfecting in Christ himself. He says, our bodies physically are wasting away. I have never, been so aware until I hit my 40s of what it means for your body to physically waste away. You ever just wake up and feel old? Some of you are making faces at me, and some of you are like, what are you talking about right now? Some of you aren't even 30 yet, and it's gross. Outwardly we're wasting away, but inwardly we're being renewed by the Holy Spirit. He says, for our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that outweighs them all. How many of us feel like our troubles, our daily struggles, are light and momentary? I want you to think about a situation that maybe you're in right now. Does it feel light? Does it feel like a momentary struggle? Does it kind of feel like Paul is saying, really, it's not that big of a deal? I was really challenged by this. I went to the language and said, okay, what is he saying? What does it actually mean? When he talks about light and momentary troubles, he means the weight is not as heavy as you think it is. As big as the problem seems, the weight is lighter than you think. It is not as heavy, as cumbersome as you believe it to be. And I want you to think about this for a second. How often do we come through a situation realizing, man, in the moment, that seemed horrible. It seemed overwhelming. It seemed terrible. I thought it was going to kill me. And maybe it didn't kill me, but it sure made me feel like I wanted to die. But then you wake up tomorrow or the next day or next week or whatever it is, you get through the other side of it and go, well, maybe that wasn't quite as bad as I thought. Maybe it was. But how often is it not quite what we thought it was? Verse 18, he says this. So, we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. Since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. We don't fix our eyes on, oftentimes I talk about how we can be held captive by what we think of as reality. We think that what we see around us is the reality of our future, when in reality God is defining for us the best is yet to come. What is actually my intent is on the horizon. The problem is that sometimes we think God is just going to bring it to us, and often he's saying, no, it's over the next hill, so I need you to get up and climb it. But God, I'm struggling financially. I need financial blessing. I will give you a second job. No, that's not what I meant. I want a check in the mail. I want a raise at work. I want unexpected windfall and inheritance. I want to be done with these struggles with as minimal effort as possible. That's not what he's saying. He says we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but what is unseen. Sometimes it's unseen because it's yet to come. Sometimes it's unseen because we are not there yet, because we have stopped moving. And we as a church are not going to stop moving. We as a church believe, and our ministry team believes wholeheartedly. I don't mean these as talking points. I mean that we believe wholeheartedly that, one, the struggle is real and it's hard, and we are grinding it out day after day, week after week. But we also believe that God's best days are yet to come, and we are not going to be held captive by what we see in front of us right now. We are going to chase the next hills, and we are going to climb them. We refuse to be torn up by what is temporary, but we will focus on what is unseen and eternal. It's unseen because God hasn't shown us yet. It's unseen because we haven't realized it yet. Some of it is unseen because it's a hill we've yet to climb. But in whatever the case, we're going to trust God to see us to that next place, and we will do our part. Some of you have that, this form right here, this Vision Sunday response card. Now, I want you to really look at this and think about this for a second. The American church has a reputation for being what we call consumer-driven. I want to show up on Sunday because, I need to be there. I need to get my church on. I need to get in touch spiritually. I know it's where I need to be, and I should make an appearance every so often. That's the reputation that the American church has built. But we believe the church is meant for so much more. It's the fellowship and the gathering of the believers to worship together, to fellowship and spend time together, to build lives together, to build a future together, to dream and to vision cast, and to overlap our circles together. Now, one of the things that Paul says at the beginning of this passage that I find really interesting, he says, therefore, since we have God's mercy, we have this, through God's mercy, we have this ministry, we do not lose heart. He says that twice in these passages. He says, rather, we have renounced secret and shameful ways. We do not use deception, nor do we distort the word of God. On the contrary, by setting forth the truth plainly, we commend ourselves to everyone's conscience in the sight of God. What is he saying? He says, we got nothing to hide. We got no secrets. We are approaching this honestly and openly, and we acknowledge things as they are. We see the truth of what struggle is, but we know that our hope is in Christ. Why do you get up every day and do what you do? Some of you get up and go to a job that you hate. Why? Because you got bills to pay for, a family that you have to provide for. Why do you keep putting one foot in front of the other when there are days you feel like, you know what, I want to quit? I will be honest with you, completely transparent. I have had days where I feel like I want to get up and just walk away from everything. And maybe I'm the only one, but maybe you can relate to what I mean. You know what? I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to fight at my job. I don't want to fight with my wife. I don't want to fight people. I want to just leave. I want to just pack a bag and go sleep in a cave somewhere. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. Maybe I don't. There are days where it doesn't feel like you just don't want to do it. But guess what? The word says these are light and momentary troubles. Are we defined by our struggles, or are we defined by our future in Jesus? We, as a ministry, Family Community Church, will be defined by the thing that God says is for us, not the thing that we see around us. Does that make sense? And so as I close, I want to say this. The future is ours for the taking. We believe that God is calling us in a certain direction. Our vision is very simple: to disciple families, to passionately follow Jesus. What I need from you, I am asking you for me, for us as a church, and for me personally, I need you to tell me, is there something you want to get involved with? Is there something that you're missing that you don't see? Is there something that you wish we did more of? Is there an issue that you've got that, Pastor, I really think you need to be aware of this? If you've got a suggestion, a critique, a comment, fill out one of those 3x5 cards. All you got to do is fold it and leave it on the table or go drop it in the offering box back there. You want to get involved? I'll be honest with you. We have the best leadership team in place right now. I've never worked with a ministry team quite like the one that we have right now, and I've been doing this for almost 25 years. We've got energy. We've got passion. We've got vision. It's time to work. And I'm asking you if you want to be a part of it. These are ways that you can tangibly tell us, yes, and here's how. Or, hey, I've got an issue. Can I talk to you about it? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pray, and then we're going to make I do need to make a motion to close Vision Sunday. Yes. Okay. I hate business stuff. Lord, I have thought often, recently, about the deep roots in the history of this church. Lord, I've thought about how we started in the holiness tradition 75 years ago. I've thought about becoming Warrenton Wesleyan Church and eventually transforming and evolving into Family Community Church in September of 2020. God, in all these iterations and all these experiences, we want you at the front and center of it all. You are the light. You are the star by which we want to navigate. We need you, Jesus. We need you. I ask that you meet us in this place, Lord. I ask that you give us eyes to see, God, because sometimes situations around us seem bleak and grim and dark, and the path gets lost in the storms of life. Give us eyes to see what you have laid before us. God, I ask that you give us ears to hear. You speak truth in so many ways. Sometimes it's truth we embrace. Sometimes it's truth we run from. Sometimes it's truth we don't want to hear. But your word is always true. May we be true to you and true to ourselves. God, I ask that you give us hearts willing and open to receive, God. And I always ask that you give us hearts willing and open to receive with courage and with bravery, because the things you call us to do sometimes can seem daunting and overwhelming. But our future is bright, and we are excited about the direction that we're headed. Lord, we ask all these things, eyes to see, ears to hear, hearts willing and open to receive, God. We ask them in your precious name, Lord. Amen. Board members, members of the church, thank you for the opportunity to do this today. We're celebrating. Pray that you'd stick around and eat with us. We got a potluck planned. I'm going to handle two last items of business. All the reports that you have received today from the from the respective ministry leaders need a motion to accept them. All right, I need a second. Who was that? Rachel Anger, second. Any discussion? Nope. Budgets have already been approved. Budgets are approved by the board. They were approved a couple weeks ago. It does say that in the booklet, the dates that they were approved. You can take a look at them at your leisure. Angel, that would be your leisure. You love reading financials. Any others? Good question, though, Carrie. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Get to that in a second. Any other discussion? All right. All in favor of receiving the reports as presented? Come on, guys. I can't hear you. Thank you. Any opposed? All right. One thing that was appointed by the board, our district conference delegates. I don't know why. I thought I had a slide in there for that. Our district conference delegates this year, because we go to a district conference, which is the gathering of all the churches in our district, are Charlie and Ruth Holscher. You have won an all expenses paid trip to Springfield, Missouri. That is literally the most exciting part of, I'm just kidding. This year it's not in Bartlesville. We're super excited about that. Kelly, does that suffice? Just it was appointed, but no, that has actually been moved to the board. The only thing churches have to vote on anymore is the election of board members. Once upon a time, we had to vote to approve the financials. We had to vote to approve the delegates. There's a bunch of things we had to vote on. In recent years, the polity structure, if you will, the bylaws within our district have changed. So when I present them to the board, a few board meetings ago, we talked about how now the board appoints almost everything. The board approves the budgets, and we present them in the material that you were given a couple weeks ago and today as basically already approved by the church leadership. So, makes sense? Good question. Thank you for bringing that up, though, Carrie. I probably should have addressed that up front. Any other points of discussion? All right, motion to adjourn today's meeting. I knew you would, Doug. A second on that. All in favor of adjourning and getting to a potluck? Excellent. Any opposed? All right. Thank you so much, guys. We're going to throw on some music. We're going to get ready to eat here. Food is in the back. I'm sure there will be some